The first thing I was aware of was the ceiling, white tiles. One of them had a small crack shaped like a fish hook. I followed it with my eyes because that was the only thing I could do. My throat felt packed with sand. My spine was a column of foreign object, not mine anymore. A nurse appeared. She gave me water from a sponge on a stick. I remember thinking this was humiliating, but I was too tired to care. She said I did well. 7 hours. I tried to ask a question, but only air came out. She pointed to my phone on the table. 68 missed calls, she said. Someone loves you. I waited until she left. 68 missed calls. All from Mom. The last one was a voicemail. I pressed play and held the phone to my ear because I couldn't lift my arm high enough. Her voice was bright, efficient. The voice she uses for scheduling and complaints. Hi, honey. Just wanted you to know we sold your condo. It closed today. We used the funds for your sister's wedding. You know the venue wanted cash up front. You were unconscious, so we signed the paperwork for it. Anyway, it's done. $195. Call me when you're awake. Love you. The message ended. I stared at the cracked ceiling tile, the fish hook. I played the voicemail again and again, not because I didn't believe it, but because I was trying to find the part where it became a joke. A mistake. A wrong number. It never came. The third time I listened, something shifted inside me. Not anger. Anger would come later, would arrive like a freight train I could hear from miles away. This was colder. This was my brain finally waking up from the anesthesia and doing math. They sold my condo. I was unconscious. They signed for me. The wedding is in 2 weeks. $195,000. I thought about my sister, her fiance with the podcast, and the opinions about open floor plans. I thought about my mother, who had always preferred the word we when she meant I. I thought about my father, who probably stood there nodding while the papers were signed. I thought about my grandmother. She died 4 years ago. She left a trust. Not for my mother. She never trusted my mother with money. For the grandchildren. For future security. My sister had already drained most of hers on the engagement party and the designer dress and the down payment on a venue that required cash up front. I hadn't touched mine. I waited until my hands stopped shaking. Then I scrolled to my lawyer's number. Not the family lawyer, my lawyer. The one my grandmother recommended before she died. I pressed call. He answered on the second ring. I told him I could barely talk, so he listened. I told him about the condo, about the signature, about the $195,000. I told him to freeze the trust, all of it. My sister's remaining balance, my mother's access, everything. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, I'll handle it. Don't speak to anyone until I call you back. I didn't. The text started an hour later. My sister first died. Mom said, you're awake. Call me. Then my mother, we need to talk about this. Don't do anything rash. Then my father, let's all just calm down. I watched them come in. I didn't respond. I lay there in the hospital bed, staring at the ceiling, and I let them spin. The next morning, my lawyer called. He said the trust was frozen. He said my mother had already tried to access additional funds for the caterer and was denied. He said a legal notice had been delivered to the wedding venue regarding the disputed funds from the condo sale. They're having the wedding in 2 weeks, he said. Right now, they have a venue, a dress, and no money to pay for any of it. I thanked him. I hung up. I ate the Jell-O the nurse brought. That afternoon, another voicemail from my mother. This one was different. No brightness, no efficiency, just a voice I barely recognized, strained and low, like she was talking through a door she couldn't open. The venue called. They said the payment is frozen. The caterer won't come without confirmation. Your sister is here crying. I hope you're happy. I hope this was worth it. Your sister is devastated. I listened to it twice, then I deleted it. I looked out the window. The sky was gray. Somewhere in this city, my family was learning that I existed, that I had always existed, that being unconscious didn't mean being absent. I had my money, or I would once the lawyers finished. I had my spine healing slowly, one day at a time. I had my grandmother's trust, the one thing she gave me that they couldn't touch. The phone buzzed again. My sister, then my mother, then my father. I turned it face down on the table. The ceiling tile with the fish hook was still there. I followed the crack with my eyes. It didn't lead anywhere. It just was. I had gotten it back. The only problem was I now had no one to call.